So that's it for the front end. Got it all finished up. Everything's greased, tightened up, got cotter pins and everything. All it lacks is the alignment shop. Next thing is finish up do the braking system, and that's going to be a separate video. Turn in some roaches! So we're at the alignment shop, arguing about a track bar. Looking good, man. Okay, here's my RV that was my parts storage. We're about to wash this baby up, and we'll take a tour of it. I restored this about a year ago. No, actually, I restored it 2 years ago, put new vinyl on it, new window, you know, all kinds of stuff. And it's super cool. We're going to do a tour of that in a little while, but the reason I came out here is I got a few little pieces, parts to put in. Oh, there's that. Okay, got a couple more pieces, but this is my last thing to go on the Jeep, and I'll show you what it is here in just a minute. Redneck RV. I got this out, and when I started the restoration, I bought this steering wheel, and it was one that was in perfect shape. I've got the Jeep logo in the center. I just have to glue it in. I wanted to make sure it was straight before I glued it back in. I polished it and painted it. But this steering wheel looks just about brand new. The old one on it was all rough, and I wouldn't put it on until the alignment was done, because it was reminding me you got to do the alignment. I will be installing this steering wheel probably this afternoon, and it will have a wheel that does not look like a redneck drug it through the mud. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's one of the last parts, besides maybe a few little bitty pieces in the RV that I stored in there for the restoration project. So we're getting really down to the very last bit of stuff I wanted to do to it. I've got one order coming in from Morris 4x4, one of the best places to buy parts, which is, I bought a bikini top, which is cool. I'm going to do a review on that. And I also bought some new front seat belts with a seatbelt extender. That was cool. And some other junk. I don't remember what it is. But that should be coming in tomorrow, the next day. And we'll be just about finished up with the Jeep. And all we get to do is enjoy it, which is really super cool. Alright, so we're going to pick the Jeep up from the alignment shop. I used a local shop because I didn't feel like driving all the way into Nashville. So Jennifer took it up there this morning, and they said, oh yeah, go ahead, yeah, we'll bring it in. And I think maybe they thought, hey, this is going to be a gold mine because it's a Jeep and it needs all kinds of front end parts, but obviously they didn't know that I'd replaced every single front end part on the Jeep. So she's there, and she calls me and she says, hey, they said they can't align it because the track bar is off of it. So I said, well, that won't affect the alignment. She told, so rather than get her in the middle of it, of something she doesn't know anything about, she's not a front end expert, believe it or not.
What?
Yeah, you're not. You are not. You are a hair goddess, but you are not a expert on front end alignments. So I get there, and he goes out and he decides to take me back into the shop to show me it has no track bar, which I know because I took off. So at this point, he decides to tell me how the truck can't be aligned without a track bar and all this and that and yada yada. And I said, well, so then I just kind of gave him, the history of track bars and why they put it on the YJs. And he says, well, it really can't be aligned without the track bar. And I said, okay, so after this longer conversation with him, I said, so you can't align a CJ Jeep? And he goes, huh? I said, so you can't align a CJ? Yeah, we can align a CJ. And I said, because they're exactly the same, except for the YJs had a track bar that was added, and also it had narrower springs on the CJs than the YJs. I said, the geometry of the steering is not changed by the addition or subtraction of a track bar. It's for body roll. I said, so if you can align a CJ, then you can align a YJ, to which he said, sounds like you know a little bit about Jeeps. And yeah, I can go ahead and align it, but I can't promise that, and I said, you know what, I just really appreciate it. So Jeep's going to be aligned today. after I had to give him a lesson from the redneck garage about the retarded track bar. He also was looking at it, and the owner hadn't looked at it, and he walks under, and I said, you know, every one of these components in the front end's been replaced. I said, every single one is brand new, ball joints, tie rod ends, everything. I said, so it should be real easy for you to adjust. He goes, oh, well, that'll be good. Cha-ching, no money for him except for the alignment, so that was good. So Jennifer and I, right? You with me?
Yep.
You with me? Okay. So we're going to pick up the Jeep, and hopefully it will track a little bit better, because I could tell that it was off somewhat. So that's where we're headed. We're headed over to C&S Tire, who tried to take me to school, but the redneck garage knew a little bit more. Up here, man, this is Claiborne Hughes Nursing Home, but what's interesting is this building to our right was actually the Black High School in Franklin. Did you know that, maybe?
No.
That was the Black High School, and it was in use. Here's one thing that was trippy to me, is this building was in use. Franklin was segregated until 1970. 70 was the first year they had integration in the high school, which was always a trip to me, because it seems like that wasn't that long ago. But they turned it into a nursing home, so that's good. All right, so we're about to be up at the alignment shop, and they said give us about an hour, and it's almost been 2 hours, so we'll see if they got it done. I have little faith in repair shops to get things done on time, because they get distracted. They're not like the redneck garage, right, baby?
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, see, there you go. Traffic in Franklin sucks. It's terrible. What don't I see out front? I don't see a green Jeep yet. Oh, there it is. I see it. How'd they wreck it? They scratched it. All right, so we're here to pick up the Jeep from the alignment, and hopefully it'll just purr like a kitten. And there she goes in the Jeep. We just got it picked up. Oh yeah, that's much better. Those LEDs are bright though. Wow, that's cool. Looks good. One thing that's good about my wife is I didn't have to listen to, oh, you have to get an automatic because I can't drive a stick. She actually drives a stick very well, so that was a blessing that I could get a regular Jeep, and a real Jeep. I'm fine with an automatic Jeep, but it's nice that since this one wasn't, that she can drive it. Or was it? So I got my Jeep back from Jennifer.
Your Jeep?
I know, that's my Jeep. And we got it back from the alignment shop. And I was saying on the last video that she wasn't with me when I was filming behind. I was saying how nice it would be if you didn't know how to drive a stick. That way, it'd be a shame you couldn't drive the Jeep, but you do know how to drive a stick, so.
Yes, I do. I learned a long time ago.
Yeah, she does. So, epic fail on that one for the redneck garage. Anyway, I'm just kidding, baby. I can tell a big difference. It's tracking straight. The wheel feels better. It's straight, so I can put the new one on. But we're going to crank this baby up and see if we get that same kind of weirdness. Oh, that's a huge difference.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Good.
Doesn't have all that swerviness.
Yeah, when you got up to about 50, it was, it got real swirly. So if this guy get out of my way, I'm going to bump her up to see if we can hit 50 and see what happens. Very smooth. There's no corn or anything. It's smooth.
One of the coolest things about this part of the country right here, where we live. Natchez Trace Bridge.
That's Blake Shelton, aka the new spokesperson for Pizza Hut's line of barbecue pizzas. They basically replaced the tomato sauce with barbecue sauce, and Blake's really hard.
Right near the end. And that's really what Jeeps are for, is to get out and have an adventure. Go see things like the Natchez Trace Parkway. We have some beautiful landscape around here, and Jennifer and I are planning on going out and doing like some picnicking and stuff at maybe on the Natchez Trace Bridge in the YJ. I got the bikini top coming in, which will be super cool. That's what some of this rattling is. On the full top, you get a little bit of rattle because I don't have those snaps down. You put the bikini top on, and you're ready to rock and roll as far as just taking the top on and off. It makes it a lot easier. So, man, I'm tickled. The alignment, I can honestly say that it made a huge difference. We really do have some beautiful landscaping in Tennessee. This is just the wooded area around the Natchez Trace Bridge, which is one of like the the highest bridge ever made in the history of the universe, or this is actually the highest bridge in the United States that's this type. I don't know if you can see it in the background there. We'll get a little bit closer. So that's the bridge out in the distance there, and it's the highest bridge made of this design, evidently. Something of this type of bridge is different, the way that it's made. I don't know. That's what they said. But it's one of the highest, and it is really super scenic. Middle Tennessee is a beautiful place to live, and it's even better with a Jeep. That's all I can say. What do you think about that? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to head back to the Redneck Garage, and I can do the new steering wheel. But I am thrilled with the way that the alignment came out with all the new parts on the front end. And amazingly, it's not trying to kill me without a track bar, believe it or not.
Through your mobile device.
So this is going across the bridge. Surprisingly, it's one of the #1 suicide spots in the county. There's been a lot of people jump off this bridge, because it's for sure death. That's beautiful. All right, so that was it today. The alignment was a huge success. I had issues with the video because Jennifer was filming and the doors were, the top of the doors were off and the back was off and all the sides were open. So there was a lot of wind noise when we got up to speed. What I was saying about the bridge is that there's a lot of suicides there, and I mean there's been a bunch of people that have just nosedive off that thing. But it is a really beautiful spot out there at the Natchez Trace, and I hope that we can take the Jeep up and down the Natchez Trace here shortly with the bikini top. As far as like the alignment goes, if you do any front end work or you're experiencing any death wobble or something like that, spend the $68 like I did today. That's what it cost us, was $68. And get your front end fixed up, because it was really hard to drive anytime I got over 50 before the alignment was done, and I knew that's what it was. At 50 it was just squirrely. I mean, you could feel it kind of going back and forth, and I was like, wow, that's bad. So it made a huge difference. It feels like a new truck now. I even thought it was bad enough that it might need a new steering box, and then after the alignment it feels like perfect. So that was a great great thing. Coming up on the Redneck Garage, I got a couple odds and ends with the Jeep. I've got the back tail light. I was going to go through a video, fog lights. Christian came home, my oldest son, today, and he's got a 98 Jeep Cherokee, and I thought I taught him better, but he told me, he goes, whoa, I drove home and the temperature light kept coming on and off, and sure enough, I put antifreeze in it and it's blowing it out the radiator, so he blew a head gasket. Hopefully that's all it is. So we're going to be doing a head. The cool thing is, if you are a Wrangler aficionado like I am, it has the same engine as the Wrangler, the 2.5 liter engine, so the head job will be the same if you got a Wrangler or if you got a Cherokee, basically. So that'll be a video of doing a head gasket on one. Thankfully I'm not having to do the Jeep and I can still drive it, and he's stuck walking. Not really, he's not really stuck walking, but we're going to be working on that. So that's going to be a cool thing coming up. I'm David from the Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.